Hi. Today's question, such a good one, can get us so deep in the rabbit hole if we wanted to go in there all the way. But I'll try to keep it short. How to feel worthy even when struggling. It's a big one. In that sentence, as soon as it was presented to me, I saw it in three parts. Self-worth, how to feel worthy, even as if there's in a position with struggling. So I'll go in the easier part, which is struggling. I think it took me such a long time to mature into that one, to really mature into that one, where it's actually not just a concept in my head at all. It's a real experience of the world and a surrender to that truth, which is life on earth is made of struggles as well as easier time, as well as grace, and on and on. But we seem to grow enormously through our struggles. And I like to use the word challenge, but it was presented to me with the word struggle, so I'm going to use that word. So, when did we start believing that life, a good life, if you were a good person and you did everything right, you would live a life with no struggles? Because that's what's behind our frustration with the challenges that present themselves. We all feel that somehow struggles, at least for us, are just unfair, most of them. We don't understand where they come from, and in order to be at peace with those struggles, we demand answers and a why. And no matter how long you go after the whys or the answers, there'll be more struggles and there'll be tons of stuff that you just don't understand, at least in a very superficial manner, asking for answer in the right here and right now. Answers that only your intellect will understand, and those are the answers you want. You want your intellect to be satisfied with what's happening to you, and you think somehow that if you get that, it will never happen again. So we are angry at struggles, and we feel that it is there to defeat us and to break us down, and somehow is a language that tells us that we have failed at what we are attempting to accomplish. So struggles equal something's wrong with me, something is not happening right. And I'm not sure if I have an answer here, but all I know by observing my life, others' life, and life on earth, the plants, the animal kingdom, the flowers, the trees, the bees, we all seem to have some kind of struggles and challenges throughout our lifetimes. All of us, our lives. And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't, but it is. And what I observed, at least in myself, is that I've grown enormously because of these struggles. It has enhanced my sense of compassion, forgiveness, wisdom. And through these struggles, I have gained and I've acquired tools that have helped me to keep going in my life in a way that slowly but surely brought more ease. So I have learned through my struggles on many levels. First, it's the most basic levels of the real big do's and don'ts, at least for me. And then it became less tangible and on and on. But the lessons keeps on coming with the struggles and the challenges. And what I'm noticing now, not that my life is without challenges, but some kind of grace, some kind of ease comes when I'm capable of perceiving something before it has to become tangible in some kind of action or reflection in the world as it is. So I can see in the non-tangible something that may not benefit me. So I am better at not saying or saying, not doing or doing, or pausing, or going full on. I am better at having a sense of, ooh, this is something I need to go for. This is something I need to hold back. This is something I need to not talk. I need to shut up. And so there's certain actions that now come from an ability to feel and sense what is enhancing for me, for my life, on many levels, and what is not. And also that taps into instant gratification versus an ability to hold back on instant gratification and realize that that will hurt me down the line in something that's much more profound and much more harmful, whether it's toward myself or others, and often both. So the struggles are not there to tell you that anything is wrong. It's not because it's unfair, and you definitely are not the only one living through struggles. It's just the way it is. And you can create a friendship between your struggles. So struggles are not there because something is wrong. They exist. That seems to be the way that we grow. Doesn't have to be so, and hopefully as the years go, as you live on, you create less struggle. So the ones that you can not have to jump into because you've learned and know better now, you're capable of avoiding those because they don't serve you anymore. You have learned your lessons from them, and therefore you do not need to create struggles there or there or there. But challenges will come. The act of aging alone is a challenge, and I'm not talking about the vanity of it, but what happens to the bodies and the challenges that come with that alone. And that is not, you're not a bad person because you age. So it has nothing to do with fairness or being bad or failing at anything. You just age. However you try to camouflage it, you will age. So that's one aspect of the question. Struggle is not your enemy. There's nothing wrong with it. And actually you can learn much from it and learn to have great appreciation. It's a wonderful mirror, and you can help yourself grow and evolve through those challenges and struggles. And that leads me to the word even. How do I feel worthy even through struggles, even when the world is bringing struggles? There is no opposition if you understood or felt a resonance with what I just said about struggles. It's not even, it's not against, it's not oppose. Those are not enemies. It actually enhances the sense of worth. So it's going to lead me to worth. First we have to talk about what is worth for you. And I can only talk and speak to what is worth for me. And hopefully some of you will connect with that. It took me a very, very long time to develop a true sense of worth. I feel I'm just stepping into it now, and I'm 50. So as long as you look to your successes, meaning I will use successes as a very broad word, meaning as long as you look toward your perfection, so you expect yourself to be intellectually perfect, emotionally perfect, and physically, big one, perfect. If your sense of worth is in that sense of perfection, it will be challenging for you. If your sense of worth is into everybody liking you, everybody agreeing with you, it will be challenging. If your sense of worth is into prowess and all that you accomplished in the world, and that you have to be acclaimed for it, you have to be famous, you have to feel special, that's a big one. This innate sense nowadays more and more that we are supposed to be special in a way that we get acclamation for. And therefore, that sense of specialness creates someone else that is not as special as you. So someone has to be less than you or more than you in order for you to feel special. If it's about getting a house, making a lot of money, living in the right neighborhood, wearing the right clothes, and the right car, going to the inn restaurant, all that stuff. So all the stuff that in Buddha's terms, the impermanence of life, all the things that come and go. If your sense of worth is in any of those, it will be challenging for you especially to live through the struggles, because your sense of worth comes from all these elements of life that always will visit you and leave. So where does your sense of worth come from then? My sense of worth came when I realized how conditioned I was, that even my thought process of who I'm supposed to be and I'm not created a conflict within myself. So the sense of worth comes from a deep understanding that your beauty and your power, which comes from almost that little voice that we very often dismiss. Some call it intuition. Some will call it God's whispers, or just gut feeling. If you listen to that voice, that lets you know when you're getting yourself into trouble, meaning when you say something or do something that will create hurt and damage to yourself and others, but you indulge in it because you're looking for a sense of worth at what you will gain immediately from it, whether you win the argument or whether you get the job, however you get. That creates a conflict internally with that voice inside of you that knows better. And that voice is very quiet, very soft, but it's very strong. You know when something is done or said that's just not okay. And it's very different than what people tells you is wrong or right, what religion may tell you is right or wrong. It's a mystical knowing. It is a place that, if it came down to it, we all probably would agree on what is congruency and coherence within you, which is that voice. So that voice is your sense of alignment, where your heart, so your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions are congruent. They are in integrity. And you develop the muscles to have the courage to listen to that as opposed to the outside world. As soon as you're not listening to that, that's that little voice that says, I wouldn't do this if I were you. And you know, we all have that. That's not special. That's not a gift just to you, or you. We all have that internal knowing, and we all know when we are off. We can disguise it in worldly success as much as we want. It will never go away. You know, that is a gift. We are gifted with that knowledge of being in integrity. And there is nothing more delicious than living in integrity. If you've had any moments where you had the courage to listen to that deep knowing, don't do that. Yes, you will look good, it will sound good from the outside, or you will get that thing that you want. But you know it will be at all cost. You will pay the price. It will not grant you joy or contentment by gaining that thing in the outside world if you've not listened to your inner world, to that sense of lack of coherency. That is to me worth. And you earn that. Often the outside world will not tell you about that. Or they'll talk about it, but won't encourage you in their rewards to live up and listen to that. Because then they can't control you. So, worth is having the courage, integrity, ability, more and more, to listen to that subtle voice of what is good, according to that inner compass. And that is that alignment. What I feel, what I think, and what I do, and what I create in the world feels in complete alignment with what I deeply believe and deeply feel great rewards from, regardless of the approval of the outside world. And that is not easy. As I said, a lot of the way society is set up now is to make you fear the other and encourage discontent with yourself. And they tell you that if you get that, or if you look like that, or if you behave that way, or if you get famous, that is your sense of worth. But it is not. So you have to cultivate that. And the beauty of the struggle concerning your sense of worth is that if you honor that integrity in you, when the struggles come, you don't say the thing that's easy to say to get you out of it. You own it. You move into it with great courage and ability to be honest, to be truthful. The more you do that, the more your sense of worth comes into play. And then by owning it and living it through each struggle, it means that your path to whatever goal you have will be extremely satisfying. So that when you get to that goal, it's lovely, it's fun, and I'm not discouraging you from doing that. I think it's wonderful. The world is here and exists in order to create, internally and externally. But if your way there created a dishonest human being, where you compromised your sense of self in order to achieve, no matter how grandiose your achievement, you will be miserable. And then what? So for me, more and more, the struggles helps me encourage and own and solidify my sense of worth, regardless of the outside criticism. So that whether I achieve or not, my sense of worth is not invested in achievement. How I get there, that's very telling. What I create from here to that achievement, if I create discord, fights, and if I have to demean someone on my way there, then I'm not satisfied. Because most of the time we spend more moments creating, in the action of creating, than having accomplished. And as soon as we've accomplished something, we want to create something else. So what happens in your journey is really what creates your sense of worth. How do you manage each little struggles? Not the grandiose big gestures, every day. We have to live our lives one day at a time. So it does matter a great deal how you handle the little moments, the everyday moments, your decisions that you make, those little decisions all day long, every day. That matters. How you live these moments, that matters. So how do I keep my sense of worth through the struggles? To me is you will gain, you may gain, you can choose to gain a great sense of worth through the struggles. They are not there to defeat you. They are there to reveal you to you. They are there to remind you of what truth is, what truth can be. And actually, I would say the goals are almost excuses to get you to be on a journey. And the journey is really what it's all about. The goal is an excuse to discover who you are, to build that integrity, that congruency, where you are completely transparent. It's not that easy because of the way the world is constructed nowadays, but you're not a victim to the world. You can take that and you can make it a great plus for you. You can totally, absolutely do that. So you're not a victim. So the struggles are not unfair. They happen to everyone. What choice are you going to make toward these struggles? Will you enhance a flimsy sense of worth based on the outside world? Or are you going to gain great internal alignment that is so solid, nothing will rock it? And people like that. Feels good to be next to someone who has integrity. I feel blessed every time I encounter someone who has that integrity. Does that mean they're perfect? Absolutely not. Does that mean they don't have weaknesses? Absolutely not. Does that mean they don't fail according to the outside world? Absolutely not. All that happens, they're humans. It happens. But their choices and the way they perceive these struggles and what they choose to create and how they choose to be reborn through these struggles, that creates their worth. And you can feel that, and it feels so darn good. And hopefully it awakens your desire to discover that in you, because that is not special to anyone. You do not need to be a master at anything. You don't have to be a master guru yoga person. You don't need to be a master at eating sprouts. The mastery is in that desire to feel good with your sense of who am I on this planet? Am I a person who looks great, who's achieved great things, but within there's no sense of fulfillment and great sense of joy and curiosity toward life itself? Or are you a person who is capable of being solid, steady, kind, and compassionate no matter what happens? Because you had to find your compassion. You had to find your ground in order to move through these struggles. And that's very appealing. Appealing to your sense of well-being, and even appealing to anyone who may not get you, but they like what they feel. That's how I feel. You not only keep your sense of worth, but can enhance your worth through the struggles. I hope that helps you. Thank you.